modular thinking. So different textiles, but even also systemic design strategies. So please welcome Magdalena Schaffrin from Studio MM04 on stage together with the panelists.
Thank you. How are you? Are you still able to listen? I hope so. I hope we bring some interesting information to you with this panel. And we will be talking about designing for circularity, rethinking product and textiles. So on our panel, you will hear about innovative materials made for biocircularity from Alba Xiaoyang, about innovative approaches to knitwear manufacturing from Friederike Pfeffer, and about building an ecosystem for designers from Ninu Dramis. Please welcome my panelists. Alba, you are the Innovation R&D Manager at Fibras Naturales Canarias. Can you please give a short introduction of yourself and your work and explain what circularity means to you? Because I would like to get a little bit of clarification on circularity, as we are talking about this term already, and we have heard about like resale from eBay and other stakeholders here. So I think it is important to understand like the initial and also like a very special approach you are actually taking with the innovative materials you are producing in your company.
Well, Magdalena, first of all, thank you to all the organization for making an invitation for us. And thank you also to Moda Cálida because they support us as a company for launch our products. So, first of all, Fibras Naturales, I represent Fibras Naturales Canarias, and Fibras Naturales Canarias is a company that was born from a live backward project from the University of Las Palmas de Gran Canaria. We make a valorization of the banana cultivation waste, and we transfer this waste from this cultivation in other products. One of our business line right now is a new biotextile made from this waste.
So what about your product? Can you explain a bit what circularity actually means to you? So what is actually your individual take on this term?
Actually, we produce piel, that is a biotextile, innovative, and we use the way of designing using a eco-design methodology. That means that we think from the beginning where it was going to born, that is in this case from banana cultivation, and where it's going to be finished in case that the client is how do you say, like tired of the product or something like that. In that case, you can like throw it to the earth because it's compostable.
It's compostable. You've heard that. I mean, that's really something very special. I don't think that there is actually a lot of materials out there which are truly compostable. So that is really something I admire a lot. So talking about textiles and fabrics, Ninu, you are the partner and program manager at Hamburg Kreativ Gesellschaft and responsible for the project Fabric Future Lab. Please tell us about yourself and your project in Hamburg and how you implement the concept of circularity in your work.
Yeah, we're a project of Hamburg Kreativ Gesellschaft, which is the biggest creative economical agency for development. And we are the newest project. We have a space in the heart of Hamburg on 3 stories where we support sustainable brands. We have like 700 square meters. We have the biggest fashion production, which is openly available for designers. We have a pop-up shop, we have a cafe, we have a showroom and also a co-working space. We have an event space. It's all under one roof. So you can start to design, to sell, to produce, to like everything in one house. We have members. You can apply as a sustainable brand with your portfolio. It's the sustainability concept and how you want to scale your business. because we want the brands to grow and scale and put the design out, and sustainability is the base. And because we have like this big workshop with all the machines you can dream of as a designer, like from printing, we have the microfactory of Fab City with laser cutters, CNC, 3D printers, like every special machine you need. So you don't need production from outside. You can do it all in-house. You don't need to pay for samples. You can do whatever you like. You can experiment. Also, the Fab City microfactory helps for circularity. They develop with you new concepts, and then you get also knowledge, like workshops to be more sustainable, to scale your business, to learn new skills, and you have like also a photo studio. You can do everything in our premises, and we try to find new systems to implement circularity more in their brands, because they come with sustainability, but we try to help them to get more circular.
Okay, so do you have because you're using like both the terms like sustainability and circularity, could you maybe just briefly explain like where's the difference and what's your take on circularity in that case?
Yeah, normally when I say sustainability, I mean, it's a word everyone uses. I have the feeling it has no meaning anymore. Like everybody throws it around. They come from university mostly because then they have a startup, they try to build a business. And in university, they learn how to be sustainable. They have the feeling and also the need to be sustainable. But it's more like I'm using dead stock and I'm making made-to-order collections. I don't go with the seasons. That's the base. Most ex-students, new business owners are not on the point really to be circular. And we try to help them to get more circular. We work with Sabine Lettmann, which is very famous in this field. She's a professor. She's from Hamburg, but she's a professor in England. She wrote a book about circularity. She was at Fabric 2 times to help them to get more circular and help us to find new solutions for that.
Thank you. For all of you who have been around on Berlin Fashion Week or are based in Berlin, you're probably very aware of 2 projects here, like Platte and Forn. Yes? No? Yes? It reminds me a bit your concept in Hamburg. It's very much alike. And we have another panelist sitting here, Friederike. She's running the company Ito and is a close collaboration partner to Forn. So please, Friederike, can you just tell a bit about yourself, about Ito and your collaboration with Forn, and then also about your take on circularity?
Perfect. So my name is Friederike, co-founder from Ito. We started Ito like 10 years ago already because we saw how difficult fashion production or the difficulties of fashion production, especially for knitwear, was our focus. If you know a knitting machine that are like these 4-meter long machines and high-tech as hell, but they need a lot of manual labor, so they still need a lot of manual processes. And we thought, okay, that needs to be different, so that needs to be possible to get access to these machines differently and to start rethinking how fashion can be produced. So Ito is basically a platform solution, a software for automated knitwear production. And what we've developed is like a kind of building block system based on modules. So you have like different kind of models of sweaters, scarves, beanies or whatever, and you can individualize them through our platform. So designer brands designers and retailers also can use it as a tool to easily design knitwear, which is, if you are into knitwear, you know it's kind of a challenge to understand how it works. And then automatically have it produced. So we closed the whole production chain from design to machine, and this is kind of automated. This is what we do with the platform. We teamed up with Forn because Forn wanted to create a concept about microfactoring in Europe. So that's where we got together. And the system of microfactoring is basically decentralize the system of how things are produced. So not like producing everything on one place, but using smaller demands, small batch productions, and have them produced like very individually on different spaces. So we managed to get 3 knitting machines in Bikini, first floor. That was like really the biggest challenge. So in the middle of the night, cranes took up the 3 knitting machines. And there we used the microfactory for developing concepts for brands, also related to sustainability and circularity already. So we have research projects ongoing there. And the interesting part of the collaboration is that we, as Ito, we contribute with the digital part of it. So we are digitizing the processes, and with the microfactory, we can bring it to life. So we can test everything and prototype there. We do this for brands and also for research projects.
So how does it exactly work? If you're talking about digitizing the process, so what's the main difference between classical production methods and what you are actually offering, and where is the system change?
So typically, if you design a knitwear piece, it means you make a design, then you go to a knitwear programmer because every machine needs a specific program. So the knitwear programmer converts your design into a knittable software piece, and then it goes to the machine, and the machine has to be adjusted. So the machine needs all the information about yarn, needs the information about the loops, so how to convert it, and about how it comes together. And we cut this process out of the development. So we automate the process from design. So the design happens directly in the platform, and then the whole process of development of the knitting program and from how it goes to the machine, that is automated. So it goes directly, you can order directly your design from making it, you can bring it to the machine automatically. And what's most amazing about is that you don't really need to adjust the machines anymore. So you don't need and that is where the part of the large productions come from, because it's not valuable to produce small amounts because the machines need to be adjusted. And because we automate it, we are able to combine different productions as it would be like a bigger batch. And that makes like demand-driven production possible. So any kind of order quantity is possible with our system. And that's the big difference.
Okay, and that's also a big cost difference, I guess. Because, as I understand, like the biggest cost is actually lying into like adjusting the machines, and this is like the biggest part. But what has this to do with circularity?
Actually, knitwear is so I'm a knitwear fan. You already noticed. Knitwear is kind of fascinating because you only need yarn, and then it goes into loops, and then it builds up your piece. And the same way you can deconstruct it again. So you can unravel it, and then you have the yarn back. So you have the material to reproduce something. And we are building systems, so our software analyzes the yarn. So this research project actually where we analyzed the yarns and then can say how the yarn behaves in a knitting piece. So how does it, how can it be knitted for a future project? How can it be recognized? So what kind of yarn is in my vest and how can it be returned to a circular product? And so from loop to garment, back to yarn, to loop, to garment. That's the process.
Circularity at its best, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You agree?
Yeah.
Yes. Ninu, I mean, your approach is like offering an ecosystem, and you are having an infrastructure offer in Hamburg for a bunch of designers. So how many members are you having approximately right now?
Now we are in the second term of funding, so we had to start from scratch again. We had 50 members, now we have 31, I think. And we're taking new applications every 3 months. So
okay.
From April, it will be more.
So it's a rolling system, and once you're a member, is it for a certain time period, and then you're dropping out, or are you staying a member?
At least 6 months.
Okay.
For brands in Hamburg especially. And then you have like 3 months of canceling the membership. And it contains, like, it's 120 euros, but you can use everything in-house. You get all the workshops and education programs for free. You can use the studio for free. Most of the machines, just the printing is a small amount, and it's all in the fee of 120.
I mean, you're a pretty young project, you told me. I mean, it's like 1.5 years approximately that you're running this.
Like the workshop opened like 17 months ago.
Yeah, okay. But do you already have some examples of positive impact, or designers who started with you and then scaled? Because we are also like having the topic about like from pilot to product and then to scale.
Yeah, we started with also established brands. We have, like, if you know Jen and June, which is a sustainable brand from Hamburg, they were also members. We had like some bigger companies, and then we had a lot of new startups which started really with the concept and have their second collection now. Sweason is at Raum Berlin, which is also a member of ours. She won the contemporary. Now she's on 2nd of February also in Raum Berlin. We have success stories, but it's like in the beginning. They're like maybe in the third collection now. And also we have this place, and we have to build at the same time the fashion industry and the visibility in the community in Hamburg as well. And this is like going hand in hand. And also the sustainable approach, we work with the universities. We have like collaboration partners. We collaborate with Platte Berlin very closely because we realized that we have the same vision and concept, and they have this shop and retail angle, and we have the production angle. So it fits perfectly. So we do a lot of stuff together, and we'll do more. So collaboration is very key in circularity and also in sustainability. And I think.
But talking about scale, Alba, bio-based and bio-circular materials are gaining attention, but how ready are they for real-world application?
Well, actually, we are just starting from my point of view, because actually Musapiel is not a bio-based material because it hasn't any PU. So the thing is that we launched Musapiel like 2-3 months ago. So it's very recently. And we are looking for a scaling because we are looking if it's accepted in the market first, and then we want to support the designers because they right now with the new European product passport, the designers will be mandatory to put the traceability of the product. So as our product is from Canary Island, because we are based on Gran Canaria, we will help the designers to adapt to the new regulatory.
But is there any trade-offs to designers they are facing when using bio-based materials?
Actually, I don't, can you repeat?
Is there any trade-offs designers face?
Oh, yes.
When using bio-based materials?
Yes, as I said, like we as what our product is based on Canary Island, we are we want to to help to the designers to certificate the product.
And do you have any? I mean, I'm sure you have done any testings about durability and about performance of your material.
Yeah, right now we have done the durability test in collaboration with the university. So we are studying the duration. For now, it's very it behaves like a traditional leather that you of course have to moisturize sometimes and save in a dry, fresh place. But about the circularity, it is so that when you don't want more the product, or maybe you are tired of them, as I told, you can make compost, and it came to the banana cultivation, and it will end in the earth, in the ground.
But I don't know if you are aware, there is a difference between biodegradability and compostability. Yes. Maybe you can explain a bit to our audience, because I think it's quite important.
Well, actually, compostability it means that the product it is integrated in with the microorganisms, with the ground, with all the life that is in ground for cultivation, for example. But biodegradability is not like that. It's like it's a more slow process.
Okay. So coming back to scale, so right now you are like in the first phase. I mean, you've just developed the material, but what are your plans to scale?
Well, actually, our plans to scale is look for certifications to make the customers to trust on us, because we know that we are a new product and we need certifications to trust, and then we will like I don't know how to say in Spanish, but it's like from mouth to mouth, like when designers start to trust on us, they will use it.
But you're already working with designers, right?
Yes, actually, we have some collaboration with these designers that they have done this piece only for making some final products for the final customers, because what we produce is the musapiel, that is this biotextile, but we don't do the final product that goes to the final client.
Okay, but are you looking for more collaborations with designers? So if any designers are in the room, please talk to Alba. And if you are interested in working with the material and designing compostable products, then Alba is probably the person to talk to. Ninu, what about the designers you are training? How early do designers need to consider the product's next life? Because you said that most of the designers are coming with a sustainability concept to you, and you are training them and educating them into towards a more circular thinking, and designing. So where is like where's the point where they need to implement like the circularity in their in the process?
It's in the design process. It's in the beginning, before the product is developed. So how can my product, my design be more circular? And it's the systemic thinking you need for your collection, for your designs, to say, okay, it's either accessories or garments, where do I source? Which system do I need for a more circular approach? Do I take the things back? Is it recyclable? How are the fibers? Are they mixed? Is it mono? Is it biodegradable? Do I have a repair service? Do I lend the things? Do I repurpose the things? Do I upcycle my collection? All these ideas and thought processes had to go into the design process in the beginning, not at the end. You have the product, and then you think about how can I be more sustainable and more circular? And that's the point where you have to start.
And this is also where you are starting to educate them, right?
Yeah, there are some, like when we have workshops about these topics, it's you come with your concept, and then we analyze where you stand in circularity and how to be more circular.
I mean, you're also training designers with Forn and Ito. So is it you're also I think experiencing the same? So it's a very, very beginning where you actually have to think about circularity before you start sourcing, before you start designing the product to really like be able to actually bring it into a circle. So what role is data playing? I mean, Alba has been also talking about the digital product passport and traceability and transparency. So where are you coming in with like the data and the transparency and tracking?
Yeah, the data helps you to understand the ingredients better. So in case of knitwear, it all starts with yarn. And by collecting the characteristics of yarn, it helps you to foresee how it behaves. And this is so I totally agree with you that you have to build up a system before you even start to design. You have to think about the ingredients and where they come from. And then the ingredient from us is to get the recipe in how to put this together. What we also developed, for example, is a tool that you have like an archive of dead stock materials. So everything what's in the loop and what is taken back from the circle gets into kind of an archive, and that designers design with this archive already. So they have a real-time translation on what material is available and what can I do with it. So how many yellow yarn is there? And okay, then it would be enough for one yellow sleeve or for 1,000 yellow sleeves or whatever. But that data helps you to understand what the possibilities are and how to what the compositions are.
Is it also helping to track the products?
Yeah, of course. You can also with knitwear. There are possibilities to integrate kind of RFID chips or whatever, that it helps you to understand where your garment goes, so the life journey of a garment. But that's possible with many different ways in how it goes back to the loop. So because also, again, you need to understand what the garment consists of, also which kind of technique is used to put it together, to understand how it's going to be how it goes back to the circle. So how can you bring it back to the yarn, and how can you unravel it again?
So I have a question to kind of like all of you, because I actually wanted to quickly talk about some challenges as well, because right now we're talking about solutions, and I mean, you're all providing very great solutions to designers, like starting with the materials, and with the ecosystem, and also with your platform and the way of producing on demand, also like in smaller batches. I mean, it's very great. It sounds very great, but where are the biggest challenges in really scaling into circularity, and what do you think are like the what will tell us in about 5 years that we have really truly moved towards circularity from now? I don't know who wants to answer first.
I will. It's lacking of systems and networks and platforms and collaboration. I think that's the biggest challenge, and to have like the infrastructure to scale actually, like recycling fibers. Like it's all costly still. We can provide the infrastructure in a small scale, but if you want to scale more, there's always like a lack of facilities or platforms or collaborators for that. I think this is what should grow. We have to work together because in sustainability, you can't be a solo fighter. You have to collaborate, you have to talk. That's what, when I'm here and also in other talks, it's always the same. We have to work together. We have to ask ourselves, what do we need? What can we provide? Anyone has a great idea and we can develop it together? This is really crucial. And I hope that in how many years?
5?
5? We would be more like hubs like us and more local production, local sourcing, everything, like a better infrastructure for scaling, because we are closing the gap between I'm sewing at home and I have to produce abroad. So we are trying to give an infrastructure for the beginning, like the school after the school. We give knowledge which is lacking in universities, and then we have concepts for local production. So you can have small amounts, and it can be on demand, and it is like that's another topic, but also local production. And if we do it together, I think we'll have a network, and then we can scale it bigger and more.
Okay, I understand. And Friederike, are you agreeing?
Yeah.
And do you want to add?
I totally agree. I would add, like, you need to change the behavior of the routines. That is something, because you are educated in a specific way, and the things how you did it the last 10 years worked in a way. So it's very time consuming and like costs a lot of your own your own capacities to relearn processes and to think differently about it. So I think we all have to come to on-demand driven production, and local production makes total sense in a way, because you are very much more flexible with this. But the processes are like kind of very given at the moment, and you have to relearn it in a way. So and this costs a lot of power, I think.
And what will us show in about 5 years that we really truly moved to scaling?
Actually, then whole Europe will be a different place, and there will be a lot of microfactory systems around, and production will be completely based in Europe. That's my total dream, and that there is no waste anymore, because we can tackle that problem. So waste can be a problem of the year 2020, but it doesn't have to rule our future.
Okay, thank you. What about you, Alba? What do you think from here in 5 years? How do we see circularity scaling?
Well, as my partners have said, I think that educate the designers, also the final customer, is very important. And I think we have discussed this topic in this talk today in many times. So I think this will be, this is like the important key. And also in 5 years, a proof that this has happened or this can be done will be that the way of thinking when we design, or well, not me design, sorry, I'm not a designer, when the designers do their job, is changing the methodology and thinking from where come the material, the product that they are going to use, and to where it's going. So this is how we think that we have to close the loop, and that's why we come from the banana plants and into the ground, into the earth.
Into the earth. I think that was a really nice final word, like coming from the banana growth and like into the earth. So we actually finalize here. And if you don't have any like final sayings, I would actually wrap up the panel for now and hand over to Anne. Thank you for listening.